Good morning. This video is about the brilliance that is the TfL Dial-A-Ride service, but to tell that story I've come here to Gladstone Avenue in Twickenham to ride this bus here, the 969, the last of the 900 series of buses, and we'll ride this because it only goes on a Tuesday and Friday just twice a week, and we'll get on board and we'll discuss everything about the 969 and Dial-A-Ride. So a few weeks ago, I made a video called London's Least Frequent Bus Route, as the 347 bus only runs 4 times a day during the week. But that came with the standard caveat of not including school buses, night buses and mobility buses, of which the 969 is the last. Now, did you know there used to be loads of 900-something buses all over London, but with the introduction of Dial-A-Ride and also regular buses becoming more accessible with ramps and wheelchair spaces, the 900 routes have been cut back, and the 969 is the last one in operation, and it makes just 2 return trips a week, on Tuesdays and Fridays only. And when we went to catch it, the blind, well, it wasn't quite working on the front as it should have been, but it was definitely showing the correct number on the side of the bus though. Oh, also, Roger's here.
Oh, hello.
Always. You come for the bus ride?
Quirky bus ride, I'll be here.
Okay. It definitely says 969 on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. My Oyster card gets to have a tap of a 969 beep. Lovely.
No, different one.
In case you get confused, I've printed out the very complicated timetable, which is the one bus. So it's 10 o'clock here, from Gladstone Avenue, Twickenham, and it gets to the Asda at Roehampton Vale at 11:02, where it then sits for just over 2 hours, and the return trip is at 13:15, and it's back here where we started at 14:14. But we're just going to go to Roehampton, so I wasn't going to make the return trip. We'll just there'll be a cafe at Asda, right? We can grab a cup of tea and.
Are we going to do our shopping?
We do our shopping. Did you bring your shopping bag?
Yeah, I've got my shopping trolley.
Do your weekly shopping, yeah. So we have got one other passenger, apart from Roger and myself. He's called Adam, and he's going to visit his sister in Mortlake. So he's not using it to go to the shops at Roehampton, but we're hopefully going to pick some people up on the way. Aren't we? We're also going to go past what we reckon is London's least used bus shelter in Mortlake. Is that right?
Hayland Drive, Selkirk Road.
Through Mortlake and Richmond, we might pick up a few regular passengers, but then we're going to go to one more area.
Well, regulars as in travelling, could get other routes. They're making local journeys, yes. Then there's one more area called the Lennox Estate, north of Roehampton, which the 969 is the only bus that loops around. And we'll probably get half a dozen or so there, going down to the Asda at Roehampton.
969 to Roehampton Vale.
We've now picked up about 4 other passengers, so there's 5 people on board plus ourselves, 7 in total. It's very weird being on a bus that goes, this is the 969, it's a 9-something bus. Roger's getting a picture of Mortlake Station, which is only served by the 969, so we think it's London's least used bus stop. And whilst we ride the rest of the 969, let's flash back to a week before when TfL very kindly invited me down to what this video is really all about, and that was to look around at their Dial-A-Ride depot and discuss what the free mobility Dial-A-Ride service is all about. Here's what happened the week before I went on the 969.
Well, Dial-A-Ride is an assisted transport service for people that are over the age of 85 or have mobility or visual impairments that make it difficult for them to use the mainstream public transport network. So we've got 256 Volkswagen buses. They're specially adapted. We use a coach builder in Rochdale that actually makes the buses suitable for our transport purposes. Every bus that we've got is able to carry wheelchairs of all descriptions. So obviously there are a lot of different types of wheelchairs. We can deal with any sort of mobility aid that somebody's got, and you can bring a companion as well if you need a little help getting around.
So we've got a rear ramp which makes the bus accessible for wheelchair users. The driver will deploy this and wheel the wheelchairs up into the bus. Then if we go inside the bus, we've got 8 seats within the vehicle that all can be configured to either seat 8 passengers or take 3 wheelchairs on board. It can be configured to whatever the driver has that day.
So that creates more space?
Yep, so that creates space for possibly a mobility scooter there. The driver can back a wheelchair onto these seats, which strap the wheelchair into the seat and makes it all secure. This seat is just for fixed seat for a passenger to sit in. All seats are configurable via the runners on the floor and can be moved around as we wish.
We operate from 7 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. Well, 11 o'clock is the last pickup. We'll take you home after that, but the last time we'll pick you up is 11 o'clock. We operate 365 days a year. We're the only public transport that operates on Christmas Day. In fact, this Christmas Day we carried 1,500 passengers to destinations.
What about Santander Cycles?
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. They
used to work
operate.
for the cycles, right?
I
So
did used to
you
work for
can hire a
them.
bike, okay.
That's true.
So
You can
bikes-
hire a bike. That's
okay.
true.
So we inspect the vehicles over, outside and in, make sure they're all fit for purpose. Obviously, we've got to make sure they're better for our customers because they're vulnerable. So so we've got the ramp so we can lift it up and have a look underneath. We are looking for wear and tear. We're looking for any structural damage, just anything that's out of place really. So at the moment I'm checking the drop links. These tend to go quite a lot on these vehicles. The suspension rack. This one's an electric steering assist, so just checking everything's all in place. The exhaust, make sure there's no leaks. But it all looks good.
Well, anybody can apply to be a member. It's a free service, but you do need to apply for the service. And so it could be, as I say, that you're over 85. It might be if you're able to demonstrate the disability through like mobility assistance, those sorts of qualifications. You just send it in to us. We'll have a look at it. We'll give you a ring and let you know that you're a member. And you can start traveling from that day.
Good morning, Dial-A-Ride. You're through to Robert. How can I help? So I'm a service delivery controller for London Dial-A-Ride. My role is to just basically ensure the smooth running of the service. So making sure that the driver's not running late, if there's any customer issues in regards to their pickup, where they're going to. It's just literally more or less just to manage and efficiently run the service that we have for Dial-A-Ride. So if a driver calls in, we can bring up their driver's run, basically by just putting in their name. So I'll just put one driver's name in. And what it would then show me is the driver's ride plan for today. So it will show me his schedule, so I can actually see every single customer that he's supposed to be picking up today. Now this driver could actually call in to me and ask me any particular question on where the customer's going. He can ask me about their disability if they have one.
Places that you can go to include shops. We take people to grocery stores a lot. We take people to the pub if they want to go. We take people to plays and events.
Sorry, I'm going to cut it to the pub.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, people, we'll take them anywhere that they want to go, because for the key thing about Dial-A-Ride is we want people to participate in everything there is to do in London, you know, and so be a part of all that London's got to provide. And that includes things like West End shows, but the most typical things are shopping trips or perhaps to a place of worship, those sorts of events as well.
And I can't not mention that also includes the time that somebody had to go to Buckingham Palace to collect their MBE, and they literally insisted, that they went there via Dial-A-Ride. TfL made the arrangements, and yes, they took the trip to collect their award on a Dial-A-Ride bus. That's just brilliant. Right, time to go for a quick ride in one. Do I have to tap him with my Oyster card?
You can do. Or I'll take cash.
Is every day different, or do you do the same places?
No day is the same, that's one thing for sure.
Why is that?
You might have a look at your manifest for the day and you've sort of planned out what you're going to do, and then as the day rolls along, the manifest changes. So the jobs come and go, it changes, so you have to sort of adjust accordingly. You may have to set up the bus. You probably had it set up in the way you thought you're going to need it, then you have to change that. So yeah, it's a constantly changing as we go along during the day.
The key part of Dial-A-Ride is getting the person from where they are to where they need to be safely. But we know that one of the biggest benefits is the sort of mental well-being, the mental health, and the physical health benefits that braking isolation can be. Many of our passengers, sadly, don't have a lot of family around. They spend a lot of time in whatever residence they're in, and that trip that Dial-A-Ride takes them on may be the only time they leave their accommodation that week or even that month. And so it's so important our drivers develop relationships with these passengers, you know, with these customers. And they have conversations about their grandchildren or whatever's happening in their life. And it really provides that sort of, it breaks that loneliness and it breaks that isolation. And I think that's really the most important thing that Dial-A-Ride provides.
The Dial-A-Ride service is clearly extremely well loved, as is the 969 as we discover as we get to our destination. Silhouette, and it's a few minutes after 11 o'clock. We've got to Roehampton, the supermarket here. The bus does a brilliant thing of going down to the Robin Hood roundabout and looping round so it can use the underpass because it's better access for people to get off. And we've had 5 people get on, including a wheelchair user, and we are here at the supermarket. How much do you love the 969?
I love the bus because it's convenient and it's the only way I can go shopping at the moment.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you.
See you both.
Bye.
Take care. So we've made it to Roehampton Vale. That's not the 969. That's also same place where the K3 terminates. K3 goes all the way to Esher. Brilliant. But the 969 will return here. It's parked at a bus stand around the corner. Chatting to Ali, our driver. He was great, by the way. He sort of sits on the stand there for 2 hours. And then it comes back here and picks up passengers at 1:15. The 969 is much loved. People love that route, and it's a great route to ride. But as like I say, only twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. Dial-A-Ride also doing an excellent service, so my thanks as well to TfL for letting me in and show me around the depot, and great to meet everybody and the team there. That is it. That is the story of the 969 and TfL's Dial-A-Ride services. Definitely having a bus renaissance at the moment, loving all the buses. Alright, press subscribe, see you soon, thanks for watching.